Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with Case Solutions. In this video, we will be solving a linear inequalities problem of -1 is less than 4x plus 2, which is less than 10. So this is really helpful when you're graphing, and in this case, we should be getting coordinates because we have two inequalities. In our inequalities, our goal is to get x alone in the middle. So I want whatever my answer to be of, in this case, just say -1 is less than x is less than 10. But I want x alone in the middle because that's how I'm going to get my coordinates. So in this case, the first step is let's get the 2 out of the middle because that's similar to everything on the outside. And just like a regular algebra problem, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we're going to treat these inequality signs just like equal signs. So I'm going to subtract 2 here, minus 2. But I'm also going to subtract 2 on both sides here. So minus 2 and minus 2. So -1 minus 2 gives me -3. I keep my inequality the same because if you remember from our first video, the only time we flip the signs if we are multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So in this case, we did not even multiply or divide. So we leave our sign the same, less than. We continue to write the 4x because we did not do anything there. But the 2 minus 2 is 0, so we do not need to write the 0. We'll just leave it blank. Is less than 10 minus 2, 8. Okay. Now, our next step is to divide 4 by both sides. And we're going to divide 4 by both sides, so now we'll have that x alone. So I'm going to divide 4 on all of my sides. Divided by 4 and divided by 4. Okay. So -3 divided by 4. I'm not going to write the decimal. I'm just going to keep the fraction. So -3 over 4 is less than 4x over 4. The 4's cancel out because whatever's on top, if it's on bottom, it cancels out. So this is just x. And then less than 8 divided by 4. I will write that down or simplify that more. So 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. So now I've solved my inequality. I've said that -3 over 4 is less than x, which is less than 2. And you can write that as your coordinates of open parentheses, -3 divided by 4, comma, the number 2, and a closed parentheses. And so the reason I have the closed or the parentheses and not the brackets, and we may do an example with brackets, but the parentheses means if you were to graph this number, you do not include these numbers. So that means that x is less, so x is, so -3 divided by 4 is less than x. So that means x is not equal to -3 over 4, but it's greater than that number. And then for 2, x is less than 2. So x can't equal 2, but it can be any number less than 2. So that means that x is any number between between -3 over 4 and 2. It can't be equal to those numbers. That's why we have the parentheses and not brackets, because it's not equal to those numbers. But it's any number between those numbers. So if you're on a number line, that's any number between. So it can be 1, 0, negative point, 0.50, 0.50, but it can't be negative 0.75 because that's -3 over 4, and it cannot equal that. But it can be any number in between it. So all the decimals in between it before you get to -3 over 4, and all the numbers and decimals between it until you get to number 2, x can equal it. But any number, if it's equal to those, it cannot be that exact number. It cannot be 2, and it cannot be -3 over 4. And you can check that, you can check your answer, because if you were to plug in any number between -3 over 4 and between 2, so 0, 1, or even some decimals, if you were to plug it into your original equation, it should become true. And so that's how you solve the problem. Hope that helps.